Lunch was great, honey. Chicken salad fajita things.
Good?
Yeah.
Good.
Right guys, I've just spotted another Hanse on the bow on the port side with the code 0 up, maybe. It's all of a sudden become a little bit of a race. There's definitely a race on now. Definitely. I mean, to be fair, he's towing a dinghy, but still it hasn't got an engine on, it's got no weight in, so this will be an interesting thing to see what Hanse that is, and I'm pretty sure he's flying a code 0. It looks pretty much the same cut as this, and I think I can see the Elfstrom logo at the front of the sail. Interesting. Honey, there is a race.
No, there isn't. It's Sunday. It's off. No, it's quiet day.
Looks like a Hanse 385 maybe. I'm not sure whether he saw the inevitable coming, but he's just taking in his code 0, and we thought it was because he was heading into a bay or something like that, you know. There was no reason to take it in, and he's sailing perfectly fine. And then he's just put the motor on, and then he's just motored away, and I'm not sure whether it's because we were coming up behind him and slowly overtaking him. You don't know the full story, right? But I'm just speculating a little bit. Like, are some people really like that if you're gonna overtake them, they'll just put all the sails in? Who knows? It was a short sail from Nämdö, and we arrived in Nämdö just to the north. The winds weren't really great for stern anchoring ashore, so we decided to go on the swing instead. This was a bit of a shame, as we know that there's a lot of things to explore here. This was the first time we tried our Rocna Vulcan 20 kilo anchor out, and we struggled to get a hold of the bottom for some reason. The depth was around 8 to 10 meters, and the length we'd put out was around 25 meters. It was a little bit less because of the lack of room to swing in the anchorage, and this was probably the reason it didn't hold. As you can see from one of these attempts, the anchor actually went in the water upside down, and it shouldn't make a difference, but if you know otherwise, then let me know in the comments. If you're skeptical of this anchor, please don't be. This was the first time we tried this out, and ever since we haven't had any problems like this. It's been a really good anchor with the holding. So we successfully anchored after 2 or 3 attempts actually, and just in front of us we struggled to get a hold with the anchor for some reason. It was just kept slipping, and I don't know whether it was because I snatched the anchor a bit too early, or whether it was just a bit of weed under there that it couldn't quite grip to. But anyway, we seem to be pretty good now. We are a little bit close to that boat just over there, but not too uncomfortably close. We'll just keep an eye on it and see whether we just need to re-anchor a little further away from them a bit later on. Anyway, I'm just setting up the snubber for the first time actually. I used a snubber before with this little clip here. This little clip is perfect for an 8mm chain here. I've just put a bowline in some nylon rope, so you got some stretch in. With a nylon rope it can stretch up to 40% of its 40% before it breaks basically, so that's what you want with an anchor snubber, some stretch in it basically, some give in it. So yeah, all I'm going to do is just clip this on, let it go through, and then I've got this piping here because with this boat the snubber actually has to go through the anchor roller there, so this piping is just to make sure that the rope doesn't actually chafe through. If it did chafe through, it wouldn't be a massive problem because the anchor would still hold, but it's not ideal to just leave the windlass attached to the anchor chain like that. It's always best to use a snubber. At least that's what I've learned anyway. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and set that up now. There we go. Just clipped on there like that. Let it down. snubber. So now the load is actually on this line instead. That isn't half bad, honey. You've done well. Even though we had no barbecue?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Slow cooked ribs in an oven I can't control the temperature of. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. But this really isn't half bad right now. Sun, beers, calm anchorage. Really can't complain. Anyway, gotta eat. I've tried the underwater drone and I didn't film it because it's the first time I'm really trying it. I don't want to concentrate on two things at the same time, but we went down to have a look at the anchor and it doesn't look like the anchor's set that good. So yeah, I may just keep a very close eye on that overnight. There's no wind at the moment, so I'm not really going to mess around trying to re-anchor and re-dig it in and everything. Not quite sure whether it's enough scope or not. I think that might be the issue. We're in 8 meters of water and I've only put out about 25 meters and it's not enough. Should be at least 3 to 1 really, but yeah, I'm just going to set an anchor alarm tonight. If we drift back, we're not going to drift back into anybody for a little time, so I'm just going to leave it as is at the moment and we should be fine. We're leaving early tomorrow morning anyway. Head north to see another YouTuber, actually. This is the footage I took from the underwater drone, and as you can see the Rocna is there on its side, and that either means I didn't back down on it hard enough or it just couldn't set properly because of the length of chain. I'm not really sure. It could have even been that the ground had a base layer that was very, very hard. But we're going to monitor this over this year as well, coming up in 2022, and see if it does the same thing. Now the only footage I got from this year was literally this moment when I took it down and I did a prop inspection and I looked at the anchor and things like that, but then I quickly realized that this drone really wasn't the one for me. If you're considering buying an underwater drone, make sure that the drone can turn on all axis and then you can keep it there in a stable way as well. Otherwise the drone doesn't become that effective. Now the drone I bought was a Powerray Wizard and I thought I'd give it a go because it had a good offer on it, but if I was to buy a drone again I'd probably go for the Chasing M2. It's a little bit out of my budget, so maybe in the future, who knows. I love it in the evenings when the wind dies down entirely. It's very nice actually. As much as I like the wind in the evenings, you want it to kind of disappear to make it really calm. My god, does our windlass make a hell of a noise at 6 in the morning, but sorry neighbours, that's just the way it was. The snubber can be a little tricky to retrieve with a bowsprit or a peak, as we've got to climb onto it, reach underneath it, unclip it and then get the rope back, but it's not too bad. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short little episode, but next week we'll be back heading from Nämdö up through the north past Sandholm to a beautiful anchorage called Kalkwer. And that's the first time we met Henrik from the YouTube channel My Boat and My Life, so I'm looking forward to showing you that one, guys, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Thanks then, bye now.